least in the United States, in 1969 and the few years thereafter, and then recall the kinds of changes which have occurred between then and now, almost 20 years later. I believe you'll be impressed with the degree to which the things that were planned to be brought about have already been accomplished. There is a timetable, and it was during this session that some of the elements of the timetable were brought out. The speaker said that his purpose was to tell us about changes which would be brought about in the next 30 years or so that an entirely new worldwide system would be in operation before the turn of the century. As he put it, we plan to enter the 21st century with a running start. He said, as we listened to what he was about to present, he said, "Some of you will think I'm talking about communism." Well, what I'm talking about is much bigger than communism. In his introductory remarks, he commented that he was free to speak at this time. He would not have been able to say what he was about to say even a few years earlier, but he was free to speak at this time because now, and I'm quoting here, "everything is in place and nobody can stop us now." That's the end of that quotation. He went on to say that most people don't understand how governments operate, and even people in high positions in governments, including our own, don't really understand how and where decisions are made. His purpose in telling our group about these changes that were to be brought about was to make it easier for us to adapt to these changes. Indeed, as he quite accurately said, they would be changes that would be very surprising and in some ways difficult for people to accept, and he hoped that we, as sort of his friends, would make the adaptation more easily if we knew somewhat beforehand what to expect. Somewhere in the introductory remarks, he insisted that nobody have a tape recorder and that nobody take notes, which for a professor was a very remarkable kind of thing to expect from an audience, suggesting there might be some personal danger to himself if these revelations were widely publicized. Again, as the remarks began to unfold and some of the rather outrageous things that were said at that time, they certainly seemed outrageous, I made it a point to try to remember as much of what he said as I could, and during the subsequent weeks and months and years to connect my recollections to simple events around me, both to aid my memory for the future in case I wanted to do what I'm doing now, record this, and also to try to maintain a perspective on what would be developing if indeed it followed the predicted pattern, which it has. One of the statements was having to do with change. The statement was, people will have to get used to the idea of change. So used to change that they'll be expecting change. Nothing will be permanent. This often came out in the context of a society of where people seem to have no roots or moorings, but would be passively willing to accept change simply because that was all they had ever known. This was sort of in contrast to generations of people up until this time, where certain things you expect to be and remain in place as reference points for your life. So change was to be brought about, change was to be anticipated and expected and accepted, no questions asked. Another area of discussion was religion. This is an avowed atheist speaking. And he said, religion is not necessarily bad. A lot of people seem to need religion with its mysteries and rituals, so they will have religion. But the major religions of today have to be changed because they are not compatible with the changes to come. The old religions will have to go, especially Christianity. Especially Christianity. Then a new religion can be accepted for use all over the world. It will incorporate something from all of the old ones to make it more easy for people to accept it and feel at home in it. Most people won't be too concerned with religion. They will realize that they don't need it. In order to do this, the Bible will be changed. It will be rewritten to fit the new religion. Gradually, key words will be replaced with new words having various shades of meaning. Then the meaning attached to the new word can be close to the old word, and as time goes on, other shades of meaning of that word can be emphasized, and then gradually that word replaced with another word.
And he said unto his disciples, Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, neither for the body what ye shall put on. The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment. Consider the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which neither have storehouse nor barn, and God feedeth them.
I have met a lot of people, especially servants of the Lord, are so faithful, preaching the word to the point of salvation.
Sure.
How can you make me understand?
Sure, this is just a simple principle that the Lord takes care of his own people. Take no thought for what you shall eat or what you shall drink, what you shall wear. Don't you know your Father who takes care of the sparrows? Don't you know your Father who takes care of the sparrows takes care of you?
For the time will come when they will not endure sounder doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. Consider the ravens, consider the ravens. The eye that mocketh at his father, and despiseth to obey his mother, the ravens of the valley shall pick it out, and the young eagles shall eat it. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, neither for the body what ye shall put on. The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment. Consider the ravens, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf, and the young lion, and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. They shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. Rejoice not thou, whole Palestina, because the rod of him that smote thee is broken. For out of the serpent's root shall come forth a cockatrice, and his fruit shall be a fiery flying serpent. Whosoever he be of thy seed in their generations that hath any blemish, let him not approach to offer the bread of his God. For whatsoever man he be that hath a blemish, he shall not approach. A blind man, or a lame, or he that hath a flat nose, or anything superfluous, or a man that is broken-footed, or broken-handed, or crooked-backed, or a dwarf. And Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done many acts, he slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing. And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof. And it shall be an habitation of dragons, and a court for owls. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there, and find for herself a place of rest. The Lord his God is with him, and the shout of a king is among them. God brought them out of Egypt. He hath, as it were, the strength of an unicorn. He hath made a decree which shall not pass. Praise the Lord from the earth, ye dragons in all deeps. Fire and hail, snow and vapor, stormy wind fulfilling his word. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names by their towns and by their castles, 12 princes according to their nations. Behold, I stand here by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city come out to draw water. And let it come to pass, that the damsel to whom I shall say, Let down thy pitcher, I pray thee, that I may drink. And he cometh to the house of the ruler of the synagogue, and seeth the tumult, and them that wept and wailed greatly. And when he was come in, he saith unto them, Why make ye this ado and weep? The damsel is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn. Her wise ladies answered her, yea, she returned, answered to herself, Have they not sped? Have they not divided the prey? To every man a damsel or two? Shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. Then cometh he to his disciples, and saith unto them, Sleep on now. Notwithstanding, thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates, whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, according to the blessing of the Lord thy God which he hath given thee. But Rabshakeh said unto them, Hath my master sent me to thy master, and to thee to speak these words? Hath he not sent me to the men which sit on the wall, that they may eat their own dung and drink their own piss with you? And it shall come to pass in that day, that the Lord shall hiss for the fly that is in the uttermost part of the rivers of Egypt, and for the bee that is in the land of Assyria. And if the ear shall say, Because I am not the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole were hearing, where were the smelling? And I say unto you, that many shall come from the east and west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. Yet she multiplied her whoredoms in calling to remembrance the days of her youth, wherein she had played the harlot in the land of Egypt. For she doted upon their paramours, whose flesh is as the flesh of asses, and whose issue is like the issue of horses. And into whatsoever city or town ye shall enter, inquire who in it is worthy, and there abide till ye go thence. And when ye come into an house, salute it. And when he came to his disciples, he saw a great multitude about them, and the scribes questioning with them. And straightway all the people, when they beheld him, were greatly amazed, and running to him, saluted him. And I will give thee the treasures of darkness, treasures of darkness. This then is the message which we have heard of him, and declare unto you, that God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. And I will give thee the treasures of darkness, and in him is no darkness at all. Saul's servant said unto him, Behold now, an evil spirit from God troubleth thee. Behold now, an evil spirit from God troubleth thee. Let our Lord now command thy servants which are before thee to seek out a man who is a cunning player on an harp. And it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit from God is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. And heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And he said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Jesus, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. The dumbass speaking with man's voice forbade the madness of the prophet. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep, and that mutter. I went mourning without the sun. I stood up, and I cried in the congregation. I am a brother to dragons, and a companion to owls. Neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come, for the Lord hath a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. And it shall be an habitation of dragons, and a court for owls. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there, and find for herself a place of rest. For there was no rain in the earth. The plowmen were ashamed. They covered their heads. Yea, the hind also calved in the field, and forsook it, because there was no grass. And the wild asses did stand in the high places. They snuffed up the wind like dragons, their eyes did fail, because there was no grass. Thou camest out from Egypt. All that openeth the matrix is mine. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, In Ramah was there a voice heard. Then I turned, and lifted up mine eyes, and looked, and behold a flying roll. How doth the city sit solitary, that was full of people? How is she become as a widow? She that was great among the nations, and princess among the provinces, how is she become tributary? She weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers she hath none to comfort her. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images, and put them in the camel's furniture, and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. For ye were as sheep going astray, but are now returned unto the shepherd and bishop of your souls. I will incline mine ear to a parable, I will open my dark saying upon the harp, to understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable, I will utter dark sayings of old, but that ye may know that the Son of Man hath power upon earth to forgive sins. He said unto the sick of the palsy, I say unto thee, arise and take up thy couch, and go into thine house. The Lord showed me, and behold, 2 baskets of figs were set before the temple of the Lord. One basket had very good figs, even like the figs that are first ripe, and the other basket had very naughty figs, which could not be eaten. They were so bad. cometh unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What, could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away again the second time, and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. And he came, and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them, and went away again, and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples, and saith unto them, Sleep on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me. Then cometh he to his disciples, and saith unto them, Sleep on now.
Sleep on now.
Sleep on now. Sleep on now. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps, and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose, and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Awake ye drunkards, and weep, and howl, all ye drinkers of wine, because of the new wine, for it is cut off from your mouth. Awake, ye drunkards, and weep, and howl, all ye drinkers of wine, because of the new wine, for it is cut off from your mouth. And he left them, and went away again, and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples, and saith unto them, Sleep on now, sleep on now, sleep on now. Little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out, that they might be made manifest that they were not of us. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. They shall put you out of the synagogues, yea, the time cometh, that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth God service. And these things will they do unto you, because they have not known the Father nor me. But these things have I told you, that when the time shall come, ye may remember that I told you of them. Enter ye in at the strait gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. And I, John, saw these things, and heard them. And when I had heard and seen, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel which showed me these things. Then saith he unto me, See thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren the prophets, and of them which keep the sayings of this book. Worship God. And he saith unto me, Seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand.
I wanted to look at the last chapter in Revelation to see some things, and I was reading down through it, and then I saw verse 10. Revelation 22:10 says, And he saith unto me, this is King James, he saith unto me, Seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. Revelation 22, that's the last chapter of the Bible. I mean, that's just the end of everything right here. So I wanted to see what that word seal meant, because it says seal not. So I got a Strong's, it's number 4972 in the Greek, and it says to stamp for security or preservation, to keep secure from Satan, to keep secure from Satan. To keep secure from Satan.
And he saith unto me, Seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book.
What we're being told there is, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book. This is telling us that these words aren't going to be kept secure anymore. A lot of Christians are saying, oh, the Bible cannot change, God will never allow that. Well, it says right here that a time was forecasted a long time ago to come that these words aren't going to be sealed up and kept safe anymore. So we're getting down to the time of the end here. If we are, people are just there's not going to be any change in them. They're set in their ways. If they're going to believe something, they're going to believe it. If they're not, they're not. You can't do it. Nobody can say anything to change anybody at this late hour. People are going to do what they want to do, believe what they want to believe, and that's it.
He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still.
This is in red here, so this is Christ talking, Behold, I come quickly, which I think that word quickly means, there's different interpretations. It could mean soon, it could mean swiftly. Then it talks about being Alpha and the Omega, beginning and the last, and the commandments, and then it talks about the kingdom. And then verse 18 is the warnings about changing the words. Testifying every man that heareth the words, the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, God shall add him the plagues. If any man shall take away, you get your tree of life is taken away. And then after that, there's only 2 verses left. And then that's the end. Verse 20, once again, him saying, I come quickly or soon. And verse 21 is the end. So the last warning in the Bible is a warning about changing what was in here. And a lot of people think that meant, different translations and stuff. But now we're seeing that this has been changed in a way we never even imagined it could have been done. So there's some symbolism here if we want to look at this prophetically. You have verse 10 saying this became unsealed. This isn't protected anymore. You have verses 18 and 19 being the final warnings in the Bible about changing these words that are now unsealed and not protected anymore. And then you have the end. What we're looking at here is, if you want to say this is the coming of the kingdom, the change in the twinkling of an eye to being transformed into these imperishable bodies or imperishable states of being. 2 Corinthians, last time I looked this up about 5 minutes ago, 2 Corinthians 3:6 still says the letter killeth. So this is the letter, and it's now disintegrating, really. I mean, if you're going to uphold this as the Word of God, the infallible, perfect Word of God that can never be changed, you're not even going to let yourself see that the letter killeth, and that this is disintegrating, and that we're preparing, maybe because we're seeing these things happening before our eyes. This could really be, if you look at this prophetically, in a historic sense, up until where we're at right now, we may be like right around here somewhere, getting ready to turn the page to this. Because this has never been history being changed or whatever's happening. This is stuff we could have never imagined before. Really, I don't think, not the way it's happening now. So I think if you're looking at maybe some symbolism that verse 10 says, seal not the sayings, don't protect this book anymore. Then we got final warnings about not changing the words. And then we have Christ coming. You say this is the Word of God and it's infallible, can't be changed, but that's what's happening.
He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city.